Okay, once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Viewpoints or B&E TV Sports with me, your boy, the man, NJ, number 2, the city with the number 2 in TO. Now let's get into this show, especially after watching the round 4 through round 7, 2018 NFL Draft. Now, I have not tweeted out yet or posted all the videos that I wanted to on Instagram regarding, certain draft picks landing in certain spots where they landed, including guys like Logan Woodside, who got drafted in the 7th round by Cincinnati, including Tanner Lee, who just got drafted by the Jaguars in the 6th round, and guys like as well Danny Etling, who as well just got drafted by the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken, who just got drafted by the Patriots, and I think the 6th or 7th round, one of those 2 rounds, and so forth and so forth. This year's draft, I feel like I was able to definitely dissect positional players a lot better than I ever was when it comes to what a team specifically needs to ultimately get to their end-game goal, which is multiple championship rings and trophies and so forth and so forth. It's utterly amazing, honestly, the projections that a lot of analysts that I've been listening to for months, where they thought these guys were going and where I thought they were going. More specifically, the quarterback position. It's amazing where they thought they were going and I thought they were going. I thought so many quarterbacks, they said this was the year of the quarterbacks, but I swear, at least in my best opinion, that it does not seem like it was, as much of the year of the quarterbacks as what they made it out to be. It felt like, I don't know how many other quarterbacks can definitely agree with this, of who were in the 2018 NFL draft, but it definitely seems like, what it definitely seems like is, the top, 4, 5, 6, 7, how many other quarterbacks, it seems like, it was mainly their show, and then after that, everybody else was just left to just fend for themselves and just definitely wait, hours and hours and another day or two for their name to be called. Obviously, the main attractions were Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Josh Allen, Teddy Bridgewater, and I think one more guy, or just those few. Those were the main attractions with the quarterback position. And then I thought guys like Mason Rudolph, Logan Woodside, Luke Falk, and etc. I thought those guys were going to definitely go within the first 3 or 4 rounds, maybe even definitely just the 5th round, but definitely within the first 3, 4 rounds. I thought those guys were definitely going to be going. But then it turns out the only quarterback that was selected in the 3rd round was Mason Rudolph. So it's like you took that whole thing there with the 1st round, and you took a dip, and then you took one quarterback, and then it's like it just wasn't consistent anymore after that. It was not a consistent thing after that. Only thing that was consistent is not drafting quarterbacks after that, or if you drafted them, only draft 1, 2, or even 3. But it really was mainly 1 or 2, if not just 1. And I mean, utterly, for me as an analyst, my own self, watching this pretty much definitely this past year and other years before this draft, God bless guys like Malik Zaire, who a former University of Florida quarterback, but I can assure him I think he should have stayed in college another year. Not saying his draft stock would have been better, because it probably wouldn't have been better, but he's now in the same boat as guys like Riley Ferguson, Austin Allen, Kyle Allen, and a few other guys who definitely, again, were not drafted whatsoever. And I kind of knew guys like Quentin Flowers was not going to get drafted. I just knew that ahead of time. And if they were going to get drafted, I thought they had the best potential to be drafted, a team like the Seahawks, but the Seahawks they actually ended up selecting another quarterback from Florida International, if I'm not mistaken, a guy who I don't think I either have heard of or I did hear of, but he just wasn't high on my radar in terms of guys who are definitely, going to be a big shot coming into the draft, so forth and so forth. Utterly, it's amazing, where these guys went over time. I'm really not happy that Shaquem Griffin fell all the way to the 5th round. The way that his hype and his buzz was, it seemed like, and I don't know how many of y'all can agree with me on this, it seemed like his buzz was so good, or at least it seemed so good, where he should have been picked somewhere within the first 3 rounds. He should never have fallen to the 5th round. I was utterly ashamed and or embarrassed for him that he fell to the 5th round. But ultimately, you could say it was God's plan, for that to happen. Either way, because look where he got selected, by the Seahawks, so now he can play alongside his brother. So that's a blessing in disguise in many cases, and I'm just very happy for him. But I'm just saying, as an analyst, I still believe he should have been picked within the first 3 rounds. Never should have fell to the 5th. But ultimately he did. But ultimately he got picked by the right team, playing alongside his brother, and it's just going to be a great, great NFL career for him and his brother. And I can assure you that I think that what's going to happen for both of them is they're going to definitely end up helping take back over the whole league together. Like, they're going to win multiple Super Bowls together, more than one, probably like three or four. I can see that happening, and it's just going to be a great, great, great experience. But as well, like I said before, other quarterbacks, it was amazing where they went. It was amazing how far they fell. It was just totally amazing. Quentin Flowers, he can tough it. I mean, he didn't get drafted. Again, I knew that was going to happen. I just knew it. Like I'm telling you, I just knew it. I just knew that he was not going to get drafted. And the way I knew that, because again, study other drafts, ladies and gentlemen. Don't fully take my words for it. Study other drafts, and then you make your comparisons. You make your contrast between talent and skill and other stuff like that. Because I don't know who that. I forgot who that Temple kid was. I forgot who he was. But I still don't even think he got drafted. That Temple kid, who I think Camden, New Jersey is where he came from, or something like that. I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong, but he did get drafted, but I just forgot. But I don't even think he got drafted, and it's just utterly amazing to know he did not get drafted. So forth and so forth. So it's like, I hate to say it, but my in-game analysis of this draft, is just that, God bless the draft, God bless all the talents that go in there, but I don't really know how much of you breaking records means in college anymore. Because, Taj Boyd, look at him. He got drafted in the 6th round of the 2014 draft, if I'm not mistaken. 6th or 7th round. I think it was definitely 6th round by the Jets. And that was his only NFL shot, if I'm not mistaken. Or I think he did. Maybe he did get picked up by the Steelers and maybe 2 or 3 other teams. But he never stayed long term is my big point there. And he supposedly, he either broke some records in the ACC as a whole or just Clemson. He broke records for one of those two, and or both. And it's just amazing, honestly. He's out of the league. Like, I don't know how many other quarterbacks I can name that, definitely within this draft and last year's draft and other previous drafts, they've broken records for their schools, no matter whether it was quarterback, tight end, wide receiver, whatever. And they did not get drafted. And all glory be to God, one of the top names that just came to my mind was J.T. Barrett. Reason why I say that is because I just looked up J.T. Barrett's profile about an hour or two ago, and it said that he was, I think within Ohio State history or within Big Ten history, he threw for like the most passing touchdowns or something like that within somebody's history within either the Big Ten or within Ohio State. But yeah, he still went undrafted too. I could not tell you how much of what you do in college as an athlete, regardless of what sport you play, but especially football in this case, I could not tell you how much that might not matter in this draft, in any of these drafts. I could not tell you. But knowing that, especially some of these quarterbacks that broke the records that they have broken over the past few years, it just seems like, what? And you went undrafted? Yes, and they went undrafted. And then they end up becoming either journeymen or they just never get a spot, period. Seth Russell, by the way, if you don't remember who he is, he was in the last year's draft, didn't get drafted. You can look up his profile. He played for Baylor, and I believe so that he's either retired now or retired from football now because he obviously didn't get any offers or whatever else reason, or he's a journeyman. Now I think he did get picked up by Dallas, but obviously just still didn't work out long term. But someone tell me why Dallas drafted Mike White. You already have Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush, undrafted free agent. That just obviously, did what he did and kept his roster spot. Good job for him. God bless him. But why'd you draft Mike White? I don't get it. I really just don't get it. But honestly, it is what it overall is at the end of the day with that pick. Wish them the absolute best on developing him into the utmost God-first, player that he can be with his strengths, talents, and abilities, and hopefully he does excel. But someone tell me why, there's teams that have quarterbacks that are just average, that are never going to get you to the championship of your conference or even to the Super Bowl. The league is filled with at least with 5 or more quarterbacks who are average. They've played for quite some time, but they're average. They're never going to get you, or maybe the thing is not never. They just haven't and probably will not. Probably 50-50 chance will not get you to the promised land over the next 5, 10 plus years. So it really does bring that question up. Why are some of these franchises still keeping some of these quarterbacks that are not going to get them to the long haul in-game goal of a conference championship and Super Bowl championship? Not just one, but multiple. I fully couldn't tell you, other than the fact that I think that some of these GMs just might not know what they're fully doing. That's just my opinion, And I mean, when it comes to knowing what they're fully doing, I'm trying to say when it comes to fully evaluating, quality talent of some sorts, Because I'm just saying, again, look at the other guy, I think 5'10", Tifton quarterback. Forgot his name, but 5'10", Tifton quarterback last year. I think that's the name of the school, Tifton. Quarterback last year that, if you look him up, they were saying how the Cleveland Browns should have drafted him or should have definitely brought him into camp. Definitely. He could definitely be, somebody's, backup. And he did end up going to the Colts, but then obviously ended up getting cut at the end of the day. But tell me why he broke, I don't know what record or how many records he broke at Tifton, but he broke them, and he's still out of the league. My point being is that what I've learned from this 2018 NFL draft, especially with the quarterback position, not just really quarterback, but definitely a few with quarterback positions and then a few with other positions, you can hold whatever record you hold at your school, your conference. It almost doesn't matter. It almost does not matter. You can hold whatever record you want. It almost does not matter. 50-50 chance, by the way, when I say almost. And I say it almost does not matter because, look at it. You're holding these new... Because think about it. You're holding these new... you're breaking all these records. But yeah, you're still either not getting drafted or you're getting drafted in late rounds. I mean, obviously, it's a blessing to get picked up, period, and then get drafted, period. It's a blessing. It's an honor. It's a privilege. But tell me how you break all these records in your conference and or your school, and you mean to tell me that you go undrafted, or you get drafted in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, and not 5th, I'm going to say 6th and 7th. Huh? You mean to tell me you don't consider me up there in the top 3, with the top 3, 4 rounds? Definitely top 3? Come on now. Think about it. At least from my opinion. It's all my opinions, ladies and gentlemen. All my opinions. Once again, thank you all for listening, watching, viewing, subscribing to my channel. All my latest work. All my new work that's coming soon. All my opinions on what I'm talking about. And shout out, God bless everybody out there who has a podcast. Podcasts are very entertaining. A lot of great questions and ideas. But as well, once again, shout out, God bless real brother Tanner Lee, who got drafted by the Jaguars. I did shoot a video on Instagram congratulating him and Danny Etling for getting drafted. The only problem was my phone ended up malfunctioning exactly when I was about to tag a very special person in that, which is Miss Madeline Bassett. Because her school's LSU. She's the face of LSU, at least in my eyes. She is, and I, again, deeply respect her, deeply admire her, and she's just a proud, honorable LSU Tiger, and everything she got for us greatly does every day to keep repping the school and making it the absolute best that it can be. But yeah, the phone malfunction and the video was announcing both of them, and like I said, my phone's battery is just very, very off right now. So it's like really on and off. Just because it's on charge does not mean it's going to stay on. It'll just cut off immediately for no really good reason other than the fact the battery has a really, really bad shortage. But the point is, Tanner Lee now is on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm so very happy for that because, again, more competition at the position. We need that most definitely. And that more competition is what's the difference, if you were to ask me, between us going back to the conference championship and actually winning it. Because the Patriots are beatable. Hard to beat, but they are beatable. Definitely. And as well, shout out once again Danny Etling, who is, like I say, now with the Patriots, and we're going to see where his future goes with that. Thank you all for listening, watching, and subscribing. It's me, your boy, the man, NJ number 2 the city out. God bless. Take care.